We've all been there, left waiting, wondering, and questioning our worth when someone doesn't respond. It feels personal, doesn't it? But today, let's flip the script. You are not here to beg for anyone's attention. You are a magnificent being worthy of love, respect, and acknowledgement. Let's uncover how you can reclaim your power, send a message that speaks confidence, and ensure you're never ignored again. Silence is one of the most profound forms of communication, and while it may seem ambiguous at first, it often carries a clarity that words cannot match. When someone chooses not to reply to your messages or acknowledge your efforts, it can leave you feeling unsettled, confused, or even rejected. But rather than spiraling into self-doubt or frustration, it is crucial to understand what silence truly signifies and how to interpret it in a way that empowers you. First, recognize that silence is not about you. It is a reflection of the other person's choices, priorities, and emotional state. When someone does not reply, it doesn't inherently mean you are unworthy of a response. It might simply indicate that they are preoccupied, unsure of how to respond, or avoiding a confrontation they are not ready to face. Whatever their reasons, it's essential to separate their actions from your intrinsic value. Your worth is not determined by someone else's ability or willingness to communicate. Silence is also an opportunity for reflection. Instead of immediately filling the void with assumptions or chasing for clarity, allow the stillness to guide you inward. Ask yourself, why am I so affected by this lack of response? Am I seeking validation from this person? Does their silence trigger feelings of inadequacy or fear of abandonment within me? By exploring these questions, you can uncover deeper patterns and begin to heal emotional wounds that may be influencing your reactions. Furthermore, silence can serve as a boundary, a signal that someone may not have the capacity or intention to engage with you in the way you desire. While it's natural to want an explanation or closure, it's important to respect the boundary their silence creates. Pushing for answers when they are not ready or willing to give them can lead to frustration and unnecessary heartache. Instead, honor the space they've created and use it to reclaim your own power. When you interpret silence as a form of communication, you begin to see it as a teacher rather than a source of pain. It teaches patience, self-reliance, and resilience. It encourages you to detach from external validation and find strength within yourself. Rather than seeking answers from someone else, turn your attention inward and affirm your own worth. You are whole and complete, regardless of how anyone else chooses to interact with you. Silence can also be a catalyst for self-awareness. It reveals dynamics in your relationships that might otherwise go unnoticed. For example, if you feel compelled to chase after someone who ignores you, it might highlight a pattern of overgiving, or prioritizing others over yourself. On the other hand, if silence feels like rejection, it could point to unresolved insecurities or fears of abandonment. Embrace these moments of discomfort as opportunities to grow and better understand yourself. Sometimes silence is the clearest answer you can receive. It tells you where someone stands without the need for confrontation or explanation. If someone repeatedly ignores your efforts to communicate, it is a sign that their priorities do not align with yours. Instead of clinging to the hope of a response, accept their silence as a form of closure. This doesn't mean giving up on meaningful connections. It means making space for those who value and reciprocate your energy. Learning to navigate silence requires a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing it as a void or an insult, see it as a tool for empowerment. Silence allows you to step back, evaluate your relationships, and decide what serves your highest good. If someone's lack of response leaves you feeling unworthy or undervalued, it's an invitation to strengthen your relationship with yourself. Fill the silence with affirmations of your worth, self-care practices, and activities that bring you joy. Remember, you have the power to define how silence affects you. You can choose to see it as rejection or as redirection. You can allow it to diminish your confidence or use it to build resilience. The way you interpret and respond to silence says more about your inner strength than about the person who is not replying. Take this opportunity to grow, learn, and prioritize your well-being. Silence is a natural part of life and relationships. Not every interaction will result in immediate or desired responses. Learning to embrace silence with grace and understanding is a sign of emotional maturity. It shows that you trust yourself enough to remain calm in uncertainty and confident in your worth regardless of external circumstances. Ultimately, silence is an invitation to focus on yourself. It shifts the narrative from seeking validation to self-empowerment. It encourages you to let go of people or situations that do not align with your highest self and to trust that the right connections will unfold in their own time. When you stop resisting silence and start embracing it, you will find a profound sense of peace and clarity. You are not defined by who does or doesn't respond to you. You are defined by the love, respect, and care you show to yourself. When communication falters and you're left in the space of waiting, wondering, or uncertainty, it's natural to feel the urge to reach out, to clarify, or to seek validation. But in moments of silence, the message you send should not stem from desperation or anxiety. It should arise from a place of inner strength and self-respect. The power of sending a message of strength lies in its ability to reflect your worth, uphold your boundaries, and shift the dynamics of the interaction. Such a message isn't just about the words you choose, it's about the energy and intention behind them. To send a message of strength, start with clarity. Before you type or speak, pause to ask yourself what outcome you're seeking. Are you looking for acknowledgement, an apology, reconnection, or are you simply trying to express yourself and set a boundary? Understanding your intent is crucial because it allows you to approach the situation with a focused and confident mindset. A message of strength is not about forcing a response or proving your point. It's about asserting your value in a way that is calm, composed, and dignified. The foundation of a strong message is rooted in self-respect. When you communicate from this place, your words naturally convey a sense of confidence. For instance, instead of saying, "Why haven't you responded? Are you mad at me?" which may come across as needy or accusatory, you could say, "I understand you may be busy, and I respect that." When you're ready to connect, let me know this shift in tone communicates patience and self-assurance. It shows that while you value the relationship, you are not dependent on it for your sense of worth. Boundaries are another vital element of a strong message. Boundaries are not about controlling others, but about honoring yourself. A message of strength reflects these boundaries without hostility or resentment. For example, if someone's lack of communication has left you feeling disrespected, you might say, "I value open and respectful communication. If that's something we can maintain, I'd like to continue our connection. If not, I understand and wish you well." This type of message doesn't demand anything from the other person. It simply communicates your standards and allows them the freedom to decide how they want to engage with you. A strong message also avoids over-explaining or over-apologizing. Often in an effort to keep the peace or seek closure, people fall into the trap of justifying their feelings or actions unnecessarily. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm sorry if I upset you, I didn't mean to bother you, but I just wanted to check in because I haven't heard from you," you could say, "I noticed we haven't been in touch recently. If there's anything you'd like to share, I'm here to listen." This approach is concise, respectful, and free of over-explanation. Tone matters as much as content. A message of strength is firm but not confrontational, kind but not overly accommodating. Striking this balance requires emotional regulation and self-awareness. Take a moment to breathe and center yourself before communicating. This helps ensure that your message reflects your true intentions rather than being influenced by frustration, fear, or impatience. Timing is another critical factor. When someone hasn't replied, the impulse to immediately follow up can be strong. However, giving the other person space before reaching out demonstrates self-control and respect. It also allows you to approach the situation from a more grounded perspective. Sending a message of strength isn't about rushing to fix things, it's about taking the time to craft a thoughtful and intentional response. When crafting such a message, remember that less is often more. A simple, well-phrased message carries more weight than a long, emotionally charged one. It leaves room for the other person to process and respond without feeling overwhelmed or cornered. Clarity and brevity are hallmarks of confident communication. The true power of a strong message lies in its ability to convey that your self-worth is intact, regardless of the other person's response or lack thereof. You're not seeking to control the outcome, but to express yourself authentically and assertively. This approach naturally commands respect and often elicits a more positive and thoughtful response than one sent from a place of insecurity or neediness. Sending a message of strength is also an act of self-care. It reinforces your boundaries and reminds you of your intrinsic value. Each time you communicate with confidence and respect, you strengthen the relationship you have with yourself. You show yourself that you are capable of navigating challenges with grace and dignity. It's important to accept that you cannot control how others respond. They may reply immediately, take their time, or choose not to respond at all. Whatever their choice, it does not diminish the power of the message you've sent. Your strength lies in your ability to express yourself authentically and walk away with your self-respect intact. Lastly, trust the process. When you communicate from a place of strength, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. Over time, those who value and align with your energy will naturally gravitate toward you, while those who do not will fade away. This is not a loss, but a gain, as it creates space for healthier and more fulfilling connections. A message of strength is more than just words. It's a declaration of your worth and a reflection of your inner power. By choosing to communicate with clarity, respect, and intention, you set the tone. The desire for attention and acknowledgement is deeply ingrained in human nature. We all want to feel seen, heard, and valued. However, when this natural need shifts into begging for attention, it often leads to diminished self-worth and unbalanced relationships. Begging for attention, whether through words, actions, or constant efforts to please, can become a cycle of dependency that erodes your confidence and sense of self. Instead of seeking external validation, there is a profound power in recognizing your intrinsic worth and allowing attention to flow naturally toward you. At its core, begging for attention stems from a fear of rejection or inadequacy. When someone pulls away or doesn't reciprocate your efforts, it can trigger a sense of panic. This fear drives many to overcompensate by chasing, pleading, or trying to prove their value. Yet the harder you try to force someone to notice you, the more likely you are to push them further away. People are drawn to confidence, self-assuredness, and independence, not desperation or neediness. One of the most important lessons to learn is that your worth does not depend on someone else's acknowledgement. When you tie your value to external validation, you give away your power. You allow others to dictate how you feel about yourself. But the truth is, your worth is inherent. It is not something that can be granted or taken away by another person's attention or lack thereof. shifting your focus from seeking attention to cultivating self-respect is a transformative step. Self-respect means recognizing your value and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It means setting boundaries and understanding that relationships should be mutual, not one-sided. When you respect yourself, you naturally expect others to respect you as well. This creates a dynamic of balance and reciprocity rather than dependency. When you stop begging for attention, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of proving your worth. Instead of chasing someone who isn't fully present, you can redirect that energy into nurturing yourself. Think about all the time and effort spent trying to gain someone's attention. What if that energy was channeled into personal growth, self-care, or pursuing your passions? By focusing on your own happiness and fulfillment, you become more confident, radiant, and magnetic. This inner glow naturally attracts the right kind of attention, authentic and unforced. It's also important to understand that people who truly value you will not need to be chased. They will see your worth and appreciate you without you having to fight for their acknowledgement. When you find yourself constantly striving for someone's attention, it's a clear sign that the relationship may not be balanced. Healthy relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, are built on mutual respect and effort. If you're doing all the giving while the other person remains distant or indifferent, it's time to reassess the connection. Begging for attention often leads to compromising your standards and boundaries. In an attempt to keep someone engaged, you might tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your values or accept treatment that makes you feel less than. Over time, this erodes your self-esteem and creates a dynamic where the other person holds all the power. But when you stand firm in your worth, you establish clear boundaries about what you will and won't accept. This not only protects your emotional well-being, but also sets the tone for healthier, more balanced relationships. Letting go of the need to beg for attention doesn't mean you stop caring or stop wanting meaningful connections. It means you choose to prioritize your self-worth over the approval of others. It means recognizing that the right people, those who genuinely care for you, will value your presence without you having to demand it. And it means trusting that by honoring yourself, you create space for relationships that uplift and inspire you rather than drain you. This shift requires courage and trust. It may feel uncomfortable at first to step back and allow someone the freedom to come to you or not. But in doing so, you reclaim your power. You send a clear message that you value yourself enough to walk away from situations that don't honor you. This strength is not only empowering, but also deeply attractive. People are drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assurance. Another essential aspect of breaking free from the need for attention is developing self-awareness. Ask yourself, why am I seeking this person's attention so desperately? What am I hoping to gain from their acknowledgement? Often the answer lies in unmet emotional needs or fears of abandonment. By addressing these underlying issues, you can begin to heal and build a stronger sense of self. Therapy, journaling, or speaking with a trusted friend or mentor can be valuable tools in this process. Ultimately, the journey to stop begging for attention is about reclaiming your autonomy. It's about realizing that your happiness and self-worth are not dependent on external factors, but are cultivated from within. By focusing on yourself, your passions, goals, and well-being, you become the source of your own fulfillment. And as you grow more confident in your own worth, you'll find that the need for external validation naturally diminishes. In the end, the most profound attention you can seek is your own. When you turn inward and nurture the relationship you have with yourself, you create a foundation of strength and resilience. This self-love becomes a beacon, drawing others to you who appreciate and value you for who you truly are. And when those connections arise, they will be built on mutual respect, not on the fragile foundation of seeking approval. Focusing on yourself is one of the most powerful and transformative actions you can take. It's not selfish or self-centered. It's a commitment to nurturing your well-being, cultivating your passions, and creating a life that fulfills you. By turning your energy inward, you build a stronger foundation for your personal growth, develop self-confidence, and attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships. When you shift your focus from seeking validation or chasing others to prioritizing your own journey, you unlock a profound sense of peace and empowerment. The first step in focusing on yourself is recognizing the importance of your relationship with yourself. Every relationship in your life, whether with friends, family, or romantic partners, is a reflection of the connection you have with yourself. If you are constantly seeking external validation or sacrificing your needs to please others, it's likely because your inner relationship is lacking balance. By focusing on yourself, you can address these imbalances and create a sense of wholeness that doesn't rely on outside influences. To truly focus on yourself, it's essential to identify your needs, desires, and goals. Often people become so consumed by the expectations of others that they lose touch with what they truly want. Take time to reflect on your passions, values, and dreams. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What do I want to achieve in my life? What steps can I take to align my daily actions with my long-term aspirations? By answering these questions honestly, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you and can begin to prioritize accordingly. One of the most effective ways to focus on yourself is to set boundaries. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about protecting your energy and ensuring that your time and efforts align with your values. When you say yes to everyone and everything, you often end up neglecting your own needs. Learning to say no when necessary is an act of self-respect. It creates space for you to invest in yourself and pursue the activities and relationships that uplift and energize you. Another critical aspect of focusing on yourself is practicing self-care. Self-care is more than just indulging in occasional treats. It's about consistently taking actions that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. This might include exercising regularly, eating nourishing foods, getting enough sleep, meditating, or engaging in hobbies that bring you joy. Self-care also involves addressing your emotional needs, acknowledging your feelings, seeking support when necessary, and giving yourself permission to rest and recharge without guilt. Focusing on yourself also means embracing personal growth. Life is a journey of learning and evolving, and by dedicating yourself to self-improvement, you can unlock your full potential. Whether it's developing a new skill, pursuing education, or working on your mindset, investing in your growth is a powerful way to build confidence and resilience. It also helps you become more self-reliant, reducing the need to depend on others for your happiness or fulfillment. One of the challenges of focusing on yourself is overcoming the fear of being perceived as selfish. Society often conditions people to prioritize others over themselves, especially in relationships. However, focusing on yourself doesn't mean disregarding others. It means creating a balance that allows you to show up as your best self for both yourself and those around you. When you are fulfilled and aligned with your purpose, you can contribute to your relationships and communities in a more meaningful and authentic way. As you focus on yourself, it's important to let go of the need for external validation. Seeking approval from others can become a trap that keeps you from fully embracing your own desires and identity. Instead of worrying about how others perceive you, trust in your own judgment and intuition. When you stop chasing validation, you reclaim your power and gain the freedom to live authentically. Mindfulness is a valuable tool for staying focused on yourself. By practicing mindfulness, you can remain present in the moment and cultivate a deeper awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This awareness allows you to make intentional choices that align with your goals and values. Mindfulness also helps you release distractions and comparisons that pull your focus away from your own journey. It's also essential to cultivate self-compassion. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you have to be perfect or achieve everything instantly. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way, and that's okay. Treat yourself with kindness and patience, just as you would a close friend. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and learn from your mistakes without harsh judgment. Lastly, focusing on yourself doesn't mean isolating yourself or cutting off meaningful connections. Instead, it means creating a strong sense of self that allows you to engage with others from a place of abundance rather than need. When you are confident and fulfilled, your relationships naturally become healthier and more balanced. You attract people who respect and support your individuality, and you inspire others to prioritize their own growth as well. Focusing on yourself is a lifelong practice, not a one-time decision. It requires consistent effort, introspection, and a willingness to make choices that honor your well-being. But as you invest in yourself, you'll notice profound changes in your confidence, happiness, and ability to navigate life's challenges. You'll realize that by putting yourself first, you're not only improving your own life, but also creating a ripple effect that positively impacts everyone around you. In prioritizing your own growth and fulfillment, you become the best version of yourself, empowered, authentic, and unstoppable. Trusting the universe's guidance is an act of faith, surrender, and alignment with the flow of life. It's about releasing the need for control, quieting the noise of doubt, and allowing the natural rhythm of the universe to guide you toward your highest good. While this may sound abstract, trusting the universe is a deeply practical and transformative practice that can bring clarity, peace, and purpose to your life. At its heart, trusting the universe begins with acknowledging that there is a larger unseen force at work. Call it the universe, divine energy, or the flow of life. It is the invisible thread that weaves together every experience, opportunity, and encounter. This force operates with wisdom far beyond what we can comprehend. When we trust in this guidance, we align ourselves with this greater intelligence, allowing life to unfold in ways that serve our growth and fulfillment. Trusting the universe does not mean abandoning action or responsibility. Instead, it's about releasing resistance and trusting that even when you cannot see the full picture, everything is unfolding as it should. Life often presents challenges and detours that seem confusing or unfair in the moment, but these experiences are part of a larger plan. Each twist in turn carries lessons that prepare you for what's ahead. One of the keys to trusting the universe is cultivating patience. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel anxious when things don't happen on your timeline. You might wonder why certain dreams are delayed or why obstacles keep appearing. But the universe operates on its own schedule, not ours. Trusting its guidance means embracing the idea that delays are not denials, they are opportunities for alignment, growth, or preparation. Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually a redirection towards something even better. Learning to trust also requires letting go of the need for certainty. The human mind craves answers and predictability, but life is full of uncertainties. By trying to control every outcome, you limit the possibilities the universe can offer. When you release this need for certainty, you create space for miracles, serendipity, and unexpected blessings. Trusting the universe is about embracing the unknown with curiosity and openness, knowing that it holds infinite potential. Another vital aspect of trusting the universe is listening to your intuition. The universe often communicates through subtle signs, feelings, or inner nudges. These messages are easy to miss if you're caught up in fear or overthinking. By quieting your mind through practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature, you can become more attuned to these signals. Trusting the universe means trusting yourself, your inner wisdom, and the quiet voice that guides you toward what feels right. Trusting the universe also involves releasing attachment to specific outcomes. While it's natural to have goals and desires, holding on too tightly can create resistance. When you focus solely on one outcome, you may overlook other opportunities the universe is presenting. Instead, set your intentions clearly but remain open to how they manifest. Trust that the universe knows the best way to bring your desires to fruition, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. Gratitude is a powerful practice that strengthens your trust in the universe. By focusing on the blessings in your life, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. This shift not only raises your vibration, but also reinforces your belief that the universe is always working in your favor. Even in difficult times, finding small things to be grateful for can remind you that you are supported and that good things are always on the horizon. Faith in the universe doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about trusting that even in hardship, there is purpose. When you face difficulties, view them as opportunities for growth rather than punishments or setbacks. The universe often uses challenges to help you develop resilience, compassion, or clarity. Trusting its guidance means believing that every experience, no matter how painful, serves a greater purpose. A key part of this trust is understanding that the universe is abundant. It is not a limited resource that doles out blessings sparingly. There is enough love, success, and happiness for everyone. When you trust in this abundance, you release feelings of competition or scarcity. You understand that what is meant for you will not pass you by. This belief allows you to celebrate others' successes while remaining confident in your own path. Trusting the universe's guidance is a practice, not a one-time decision. It requires daily reminders, conscious effort, and moments of recalibration. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take over, or when you feel disconnected from the flow. In these moments, return to the practices that ground you, whether it's meditation, affirmations, or simply taking a deep breath and remembering that you are part of something greater. The beauty of trusting the universe is that it frees you from the burden of constant worry and control. It allows you to live with greater ease, knowing that you are supported every step of the way. By aligning with its flow, you open yourself to opportunities, relationships, and experiences that you might never have imagined. You become a co-creator with the universe, dancing with its energy and allowing it to guide you toward your highest potential. In the end, trusting the universe is about embracing life fully, with all its unpredictability and wonder. It's about knowing that you are not alone, that there is a force working with you and for you. When you trust in this guidance, you unlock the power to navigate life with confidence, grace, and an unshakable sense of purpose. Affirming your worth is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward living a life of authenticity, confidence, and fulfillment. It begins with recognizing that your value is intrinsic and independent of external validation. Far too often, people tie their sense of worth to accomplishments, relationships, or the opinions of others. This approach can lead to insecurity and instability as it places your value in the hands of circumstances beyond your control. When you affirm your worth, you reclaim your power and ground yourself in the unshakable truth that you are enough just as you are. The process of affirming your worth starts with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on how you perceive yourself. Are your thoughts about yourself uplifting or critical? Do you find yourself seeking approval or doubting your abilities? Becoming aware of these patterns is the first step to breaking free from them. Recognize that any feelings of inadequacy are not rooted in truth but in conditioning, past experiences, or societal expectations. They do not define you. To affirm your worth, you must challenge the limiting beliefs that tell you otherwise. These beliefs may sound like I'm not good enough, I always fail, or I don't deserve happiness. They are simply stories you've internalized over time. Begin to replace these thoughts with empowering affirmations such as, I am worthy of love and respect, I am capable of achieving great things, and I deserve joy and success. Speak these affirmations daily, not just as words, but as truths you are willing to believe. Over time, they will reshape your mindset and help you embody your inherent value. Self-compassion is another essential element of affirming your worth. Often people are their own harshest critics, quick to judge themselves for mistakes or perceived shortcomings. Yet no one is perfect, and everyone has moments of struggle. Instead of berating yourself, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. Acknowledge your efforts, forgive yourself for any missteps, and remind yourself that your worth is not determined by any single moment or action. Affirming your worth also means setting boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. When you value yourself, you no longer tolerate relationships or situations that diminish your self-esteem. You become clear about what you will and won't accept, ensuring that the people and circumstances in your life reflect your self-respect. Saying no when necessary is not selfish, it is an act of honoring your needs and prioritizing your emotional health. One way to reinforce your sense of worth is by celebrating your unique qualities and achievements. Each person has strengths, talents, and attributes that make them one of a kind. Reflect on the qualities you admire about yourself and the accomplishments, big or small, that you are proud of. By focusing on what makes you special, you shift your attention from perceived inadequacies to the abundance of value you bring to the world. This practice not only boosts your confidence, but also helps you appreciate the individuality that sets you apart. Affirming your worth also involves letting go of comparisons. In a world filled with curated social media feeds and constant exposure to others' successes, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your value against someone else's highlight reel. But your worth is not contingent on how you compare to others. Each person is on their own unique journey, and what you see on the surface rarely tells the whole story. By focusing on your own growth and progress, you free yourself from the pressure of comparison and strengthen your connection to your own value. Gratitude can play a powerful role in affirming your worth. Take time to appreciate not only the external blessings in your life, but also the qualities within yourself that have contributed to those blessings. Be grateful for your resilience, your kindness, your creativity, or your determination. When you focus on gratitude, you cultivate a sense of abundance rather than lack, reinforcing the belief that you are deserving of the good in your life. Affirming your worth is not a one-time declaration, but an ongoing practice. Life will present challenges and moments that test your confidence. In those moments, it's important to return to the truth of your intrinsic value. Remind yourself that your worth does not fluctuate based on external circumstances or other people's opinions. It remains constant, rooted in who you are at your core. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally is another way to affirm your worth. When you prioritize your health and well-being, you send a message to yourself that you matter. This can include nurturing your body through exercise and nutrition, practicing mindfulness to calm your mind, or seeking therapy or support when needed. By investing in yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are deserving of care and attention. Ultimately, affirming your worth allows you to approach life with greater confidence and authenticity. When you believe in your value, you are less likely to settle for less than you deserve, whether in relationships, career opportunities, or personal goals. You become empowered to pursue your dreams without fear of failure, knowing that your worth is not tied to the outcome. This sense of self-assurance radiates outward, positively influencing how others perceive and treat you. Affirming your worth is an act of self-love that ripples into every area of your life. It enables you to create a foundation of trust, respect, and appreciation for yourself, which serves as the cornerstone for building meaningful connections and pursuing your aspirations. When you affirm your worth, you stand tall in the knowledge that you are enough, not because of what you do or what you have, but simply because you exist. And in that truth, you find the freedom to live a life that reflects your highest potential.